This is the Dr. Duke Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Duke Show. I am Dr. Duke, and I am really pleased that we have Alex Newman in studio with us. This is not him down in Florida. I can see Alex here. We're glad to have him here always, and we've got more serious content to discuss with you. So, first story of the day is New York City. This is the place that's collapsing. This is the place that claims to be the most open sanctuary city in the world, and a couple of busloads of people from Texas or Florida makes them go into conniptions. They can't handle it. They're overwhelmed. The lies of the left. Now, this is what they're spending the people of New York's money on. New York City vending machines provide free crack pipes, condoms, Narcan if you happen to have an overdose. This is absolutely unbelievable. That all you have to do, first of all, Alex, they call it a vending machine. You know, like you insert money and you get something. This is absolutely free. So I guess my question is, why have them behind glass? Why pay for the big expensive box when you could just put it in a basket on the steps of the building here?
Oh, man, you don't even know what to say about this. What is our society coming to when the government is giving you crack pipes and drug paraphernalia? I mean, that used to be you get arrested for having crack pipes. Now the government is stealing money from productive members of society to buy crack pipes for people who want to spend their time smoking crack. I don't even know what you do with that.
Well, we've reached the era of the postmodern period where actually helping people be better is oppression. We are not trying to stop anything. I remember was it 10 or 12 years ago, I read a story about how in certain places of England, you know, this epidemic of young girls cutting themselves with razor blades. A story about one community that was actually providing sanitary razors so girls could cut themselves without getting infected. Now, if you're digging a razor into your wrists, the big worry is that you're going to catch a bug or you're going to get infected. Are you kidding me? And so you see this. I think we've reached the era. We're almost maximum crazy here, that asking anybody to change for any reason, unless you're conservative, is Christian, considered bullying. And so what you have a situation here is you can just pick up your paraphernalia. I mean, we will facilitate you. And maybe you can help me out, Alex. What is the purpose of free crack pipes? I mean, I don't know enough about crack culture. I mean, are people using dangerous things to smoke it? What is the reason that you have to give them free crack pipes?
I was actually wondering the same thing because, you know, I understand that in parts of California and parts of Europe, they give heroin addicts free needles. Right. And the rationale is, well, we don't want them all getting AIDS and they're going to do heroin anyway. But with the crack pipes, I don't get it. And I mean, the Biden administration was talking about free crack pipes too. So I really don't understand. We're going to have to find ourselves a crackhead. And I mean, Hunter Biden maybe could provide some answers.
This is the one down problem of not having Democrat friends. We don't know any crack people, crack pipe people, right? We were too insulated in our conservative bubble. Alex.
It's just proof of white privilege that you don't know crackheads. Yep.
So according to the story, the Big Blue Machine is what that little vending box is. The Big Blue Machine is the first of 4 vending machines that will be installed in some of New York's most drug-infested neighborhoods. According to the city health department officials, they said, among other things, the vending machines will offer safer smoking kits. Safer smoking. These are the same lunatics in New York who are banning cigarette machines.
And salt on your food.
Wait, you got to pay, what, $12 for a pack of cigarettes at a vending machine. You got to pump that, even if any of them are left in New York, you got to pump all that money in to get your pack of cigarettes. Now we have safer smoking when it comes to crack. Now, I get it. The lie that smoking pot is herbal and it's organic, so there's nothing wrong with ingesting that smoke. But cigarette smoke is evil. You can't convince me that tobacco is worse than crack. So what's the logic behind all of this?
I would love to know. I would love to know what woke bureaucrat woke up one morning and thought, we should give free crack pipes. Because there's a trend here, right? I mean, when you hear the federal government talk about it, then you see the woke city governments talking about it. Somebody somewhere has some rationale for why they're doing this. I would just love to know it.
So again, the vending machines will offer safer smoking kits that include a crack pipe, a mouthpiece, and lip balm. So, I'm sorry. So if you just need lip balm, don't buy it. Don't spend $3 for a little bit of Burt's Bees. Just don't. You have to smoke pot, right? Or you have to smoke crack. Just go get it. Just go take it out of the machine, right? Why should only the crack dudes get their lips attended to? I mean, maybe this is how we fight this. This is discriminatory, right? If only crackheads are allowed to have this stuff, you're catering to them. Shouldn't we all have lip balm to go around? But it even gets worse. The machines also offer safer sniffing kits. Safer sniffing kits, as well as emergency overdose drug Naxalone, brand name Narcan, and so making you the ability to sniff and to smoke easier, right? I mean, people who can also pick up other non-drug related items from the machine, like condoms, tampons, nicotine gum, and first aid kits. So again, if your house doesn't have a first aid kit, then now you know where to get one, right? And quite frankly, I'd rather have the mom of 3 take one of those things for her babies than for some idiot who's pumping junk into his body. And so again, condoms, you want free condoms? Take them. How about tampons? Ladies of New York.
Not ladies.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah,
you got to get with the times, man.
Gender fluid people of all men who need to prove that they're women by applying tampons apparently into their rectums. I know where else you put them. Here now you know where you can get them in New York. I would love to know what this is going to cost, Alex.
Well, on the bright side, the crackheads will have more money to purchase crack. And, the taxpayers, they got plenty of money. Just keep handing it over, suckers.
Well, and to answer my own question, $11,000 for each machine. And that's cheap. When you have to keep restocking them, right, over and over and over again. So as you've seen in some of the videos, the images Mike's shown, that there are actual kits. I think we have a picture of a kit of, there it is right there. This kind of thing. So if you have some kind of a crisis during your high, this is a kit that could help save your life. It's a big bag full of stuff that you can take. Anybody could take theoretically. And so my question is, when are they going to have to, are you going to have to prove that you're an addict before you can use this, or anybody can do it? And you had an interesting thought, Alex.
Well, maybe all these new digital IDs that the World Health Organization and Klaus Schwab are working on, you could just put on their crackhead and then you can be allowed to take stuff out. But what I'm thinking about is, how long before some crackhead figures out, hey, they don't give free crack pipes in every city. Maybe I could take 100 of them here and go sell them in a neighboring town or in another state, and then I'd have more money to buy crack.
Here are the instructions, Alex, for the vending machine. Public health vending machine instructions. How to access your supplies. Notice this. It's not ours. It's not the state's. It's not the taxpayer. This is your entitlement. Enter the New York City zip code where you live. Now that right there is discrimination. How many crackheads even know their zip codes? But nevertheless, enter the New York City zip code and then press pound. Someone's going to have to explain what that sign is. Enter the number listed under the item desired. That assumes you can count. Take your item from the slot at the bottom of the machine and repeat step 1 for each item you desired. And notice the asterisk. This cracks me up. Please only take one of each item as needed. Really? So people smoking crack are coming to you, and they're going to follow those rules.
Ethical crackheads.
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
I noticed they also had the instructions in Spanish, so that's very inclusive.
Yeah.
But I wonder what about the people who speak Chinese or Arabic? That doesn't seem very inclusive.
No, it doesn't. And this is what the officials, they had a unveiling, a number of city administrators outside of these boxes. And here's what they said, quote, "We have a rising tide of fentanyl, and now we have other substances entering our own drug supply, which is really putting us behind the 8 ball." That's got to be a bad choice of word, an 8 ball, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Health Commissioner Dr. Ashwin Vasan said. So this is the same New York that we said at the beginning of the segment here, that is all about open borders, all about illegal immigrants. We're a sanctuary city. Now they're complaining about fentanyl. Question, Alex, where is this fentanyl coming from?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think we have no idea. I mean, it certainly couldn't be Mexico, because we know New Secretary Mayorkas said the border is very safe and very secure. So it's obviously not coming from Mexico. It's probably those conservative Christians with their white privilege.
It's got to be Nebraska and Oklahoma. I love this, that we have a rising tide. Who is we exactly? Where is this rising tide of fentanyl, this tsunami of fentanyl that's killing people all across the country? Where's it coming from? It's coming from exactly the places that you support. And it's entering our drug supply, which is putting us behind the 8 ball, he says. He also goes on to say that xylazine, also known as tranq, or the zombie drug, a horse tranquilizer that causes skin lesions and looks like flesh is being eaten off the body, can slow a person's heart till it stops. So my question is, where is the paraphernalia to get your horse drugs?
Somebody should really ask Secretary Mayorkas, because if the border is safe and secure, which we know it is because he said so and they would never lie, we need some answers here.
If the state of New York was really concerned about the health of people who take these kind of drugs, shouldn't you also have another blue box with a living veterinarian inside of it? Right? Just a dude in a white lab coat, right? A veterinary doctor. You enter the code, the glass raises, and he helps you take your horse drugs in a safe
Apple
way.
flavored, yes.
Why not? Why not?
Oh,
right?
man.
How you can't mock this stuff. Vasson, the public health official said, vending machines are, quote, an innovative way to meet people where they are. Naked women in the streets would be an innovative way to meet people who needed sex. Why not do that? Right? Why limit this in any way? The minor attracted people, naked little kids in vending machines is an innovative way, because
people where they're at.
The entire message is no behavior is out of bounds. Our job, our requirement, your entitlement is to have everything you need to happily enjoy whatever weird thing you have in your life. Vasson says that it's an innovative way to meet people where they are and to put life-saving tools like Naxalone in their hands. So people are out there trying, it's like putting a gun to your head and then saying afterwards, okay, but the bullets were antiseptic. There you go, right?
Yeah, you'd think instead of spending all this money on drug paraphernalia for drug addicts, you might say, hey, if you have a problem with crack, here's some resources where you might be able to get some help. Here's the number of a local church. Here's the number of a local charity that helps crackheads. But no, I guess it's more important to make sure they have crack pipes and other paraphernalia.
It's a shame. Most of these addictions are not unilaterally white people problems.
That's true.
If everybody in the city of New York who was a fentanyl user was white, if they were the only constituents, you wouldn't see this. You would not see this, nor would you take this attitude that we have to coddle and innovatively meet these people where they are. You would call it what it is. You would call it degradation. You would call it the dangers of white supremacy, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
But now, because you've got people from the inner cities and people who aren't part of the elite doing this stuff, we have to underwrite it, I guess. I mean, when it raises the last question I'm going to ask, I'll give you the last comment on this story, but why not just give them the crack?
I was thinking the same thing.
Right.
And the heroin, I mean, just save them from the trouble. But you really have to wonder, where do we finally draw a line? I mean, you kind of mentioned the minor attracted persons in passing. If we're going to take this approach where any sin, any vice that you're involved in, the government should help you satisfy yourself, where do you draw the line? Should the government provide prostitutes for sex addicts? I mean, this is absolutely absurd. I can't even believe we're talking about this, and yet it's happening at taxpayer expense.
And this is the problem, Alex. You and I talk about drug addicts and habits and addictions. They don't talk of that. This is just one more enlightenment entitlement. You're entitled to get high. You're entitled to have random casual sex. You're perfectly allowed to have attraction to minors. I mean, that's okay. So again, you ask the question, where is the line? We talk about line. They don't believe in lines, especially when it comes to progressive initiatives. Still to come, since it's the holy month of Pride, Tempe, Arizona decided to host their own Pride party, and they call it For All Ages, which features a rap singing song about having anal sex and all kinds of graphic imagery we're going to show you right after the break.
Today's episode is brought to you by FreedomProject Academy. Take back your kids' education. FPA's fully accredited classical curriculum provides live, on-demand, and homeschool courses built on Judeo-Christian values. Request your information packet and save 10% on tuition by visiting freedomforschool.com. That's freedom, F-O-R, school.com.
We are back with Alex Newman, and this second story, if you had a chance to look at the first one, really complements the first story, Alex. We were talking about the lack of boundaries that this culture, progressive culture, has gotten so out of hand that rather than trying to help crack smokers and addicted people, we just find ways to facilitate them taking these drugs in what we call safe ways. This is the same thing, I would think. This is Arizona Pride for the month of June. They've decided to have what they call a all-age appropriate parade. And some of the things that these kids are being exposed to is really shocking here. This pride party for all ages in Tempe featured content inappropriate for children, including songs about anal sex and a call for attendees to simply vote Democrat. The event featured a performance from rapper Brandon Hale. His stage name is Real X-Man. There he is, who sang a song with lyrics about anal sex and converting straight men to gay through sex acts. In other words, getting gay men to have sex with heterosexual men to convert them. Is it my imagination, Alex? But is trying to convert people, isn't that bad, or is that only when Christians do it?
Well, you know, the whole conversion therapy thing,
right.
Like I would think that this would be a dangerous hate crime, but maybe that only works one way. I don't know. Somebody has some explaining to do.
Progressives wouldn't have double standards.
Never, they wouldn't have any standards at all if they didn't have double standards.
Take a look at this clown show dude called Real X-Man.
Let's go. Let them know who we do this for. For the girls, for the gays, for the fellas and the queens getting paid, for the rock stars going both ways. You like girl on girl all day.
So look at the little kids here.
You ain't got the check now. It's giving bossy.
Adult men grinding in front of little girls. That's just so lovely. Yeah. So this is what we call family friendly, Alex.
Family friendly has, you know, I guess when we're undefining words like marriage, when we're undefining words like male and female and boy and girl, should we really be surprised when the term family friendly can mean the most anti-family friendly thing in the universe? And I think people need to understand, too, this is about so much more than just perversion. And I think we constantly need to emphasize this. The reason that the people at the top who are peddling this filth are doing it is specifically to undermine the family unit, consistent with Karl Marx's observation that the family is a bourgeois institution, that if you want to rebuild society along these totalitarian lines, you have to knock out the family. People with strong families don't need the government to take care of them. People with strong families don't need the government to raise their kids and give them values, right? We get all that from our family and from our extended family. And so what they're doing here, under the guise of family friendliness, is completely undermining the nuclear family.
Yeah, and we have a couple more pictures first of X-Man. Take a look at this. This is what you're dealing with, right? Keep going a little further. That's the one that really gets me. The oversized size lollipop, the outrageous half dress, and holding the hand of a very, very little child, which looks like he has some kind of inflatable sex toy, or maybe it's just a lollipop, a suggestive lollipop. It's weird. By the way, his Instagram, X-Man, the Real X-Man, it promotes the belief that members of the LGBTQ community are divine beings. They are gods and goddesses who should be revered. So how quickly we went to we're badly treated minorities being persecuted to gods. That's where we're leaping forward with this, Alex.
It is. And all of this actually comes together, right? You've got the transgender agenda, and I've been saying this for a while. People who think the transgender agenda is the last stop on the crazy train are not paying attention. This is just one stop. There are many more. And right after transgenderism, it flows seamlessly into transhumanism. And you look at who are the gurus of the transhuman movement. You've got people like Yuval Noah Harari, a close buddy of Klaus Schwab, right? A keynote speaker at the World Economic Forum, author of books endorsed by Barack Obama and Angela Merkel and the little fascist that runs Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and others. And he has come out and publicly said we are evolving into gods. Once we inject enough microchips into our brain, once we genetically engineer our babies to the hilt, we're going to be as gods, and not just any kinds of gods. He actually says, and I've got a video of him saying this, we're going to be better than the God of the Bible. Not that he exists, but if he did, we'd be better than the God of the Bible because he can only design organic life. So this is the same kind of nonsense that the lunatic who runs engineering at Google, Ray Kurzweil, has said. He was interviewed in his own documentary. You know, he says, people ask me, does God exist? And I say, well, not yet, right? They're building God. And it is actually the same religion that John Dewey, the architect of our public school system, believed in. In fact, he articulated this very clearly in the Humanist Manifesto. There is no real God. In other words, you and me are our own little gods. We can determine for ourselves what's right and wrong. And of course, this is all the oldest lie in the book. Literally, you go back to Genesis chapter 3, it's exactly what Satan said, ye shall be as God. So you throw off the shackles of the real God, and you get to become your own little God, and yeah, that's not going to end well.
Yeah, this transhumanism, you're exactly right, Alex. But here's the thing. You are not building men to be gods. What you're doing is you're carving out human bodies to become hosts for a technological parasite, right? You don't exist anymore. The technology does. You do not become a thinking, acting God. You are simply a host and a very frail. How long? Well, they're already figuring it out. Do you even really need bodies? Do you really even need human beings anymore when we create the perfect artificial and completely non-human forms of intelligence? So this is not just transhumanism. This is the elimination of humanism in the human in the face of what will be the greatest technocracy anybody could imagine.
That's right. Abolition of man. C.S. Lewis understood this long before most of us, but that's where this is heading. And I mean, even Elon Musk has said, you know, AI is going to outsmart us. We're going to have to merge with the AI if we want to avoid being crushed like bugs. And frankly, I'm not willing to merge with the AI. There's no transhuman, no posthuman for me. I won't even do a smartphone. So, you know, enough of the madness. And people who are exposing their kids to this kind of stuff, like what we just showed, frankly, I think it's beyond despicable.
Before we go, we do have a quick video from West Hollywood about another one of these family-friendly parades for June. So there you go, Alex. How's that?
Oh, gross.
There you go. And they're riding in a Dodge Ram, symbolically.
I'm sure that was
on purpose. And so this is one of those Pride Month family-friendly things. And so the message is clear. I'll give you the last word. The message is clear. All forms of outrageous sexuality are normal. Anything else isn't.
That's right. And people think that they just want to, they just want to be married. They just don't want to be persecuted. Folks, I'm telling you, this is not the last stop on the crazy train. Be prepared. Protect your children. And man, have we got to start speaking out and resisting.
That's going to wrap up the show. If you have any questions or comments or you want to support us, simply visit drdukeshow.com or all of us at the show. Thank you. Thanks to Alex for being here, and we'll see you next time.